This is an energy healing transmission for the Crown Chakra. This energy center is located at the crown of your head, and it is the 7th main chakra in the body. When the Crown Chakra is balanced, it can be experienced as this beautiful, blissful sense of union with all that is, with life, with nature, with the divine. It can also be experienced as higher consciousness, and it's connected to our psychic ability of claircognizance, which is intuitive knowing. When the Crown Chakra is blocked, we can experience depression or anxiety, as well as skepticism and an overly closed-mindedness. When we start feeling disconnected from the world around us, from nature, start believing that we are somehow separate from others, this can also be a sign of a blocked or a disbalanced Crown Chakra. In this session, we will be working with clearing, healing, and balancing your crown center. Let's begin by taking a deep breath in through the nose and a full breath out. Good. And I'm calling upon the angels and archangels to hold the space for this session, and asking your higher self, your soul self, to assist in this healing. And may you receive exactly what you need for your highest good, for your highest health, in healing, clearing, and balancing your Crown Chakra. And I invite you to start relaxing your body, settling into your space, and notice if you hold any tension, particularly in your face, perhaps around your eyes. See if you can soften. And on your next breath in, see, feel, or visualize beautiful white light flowing down into the crown of your head, starting to fill your head, your face, your neck, flowing down into your body, shoulders and arms, chest, filling your whole torso, your belly, your pelvis, flowing down through your hips into your legs, thighs, knees, ankles, all the way to your feet. And on your next exhale, send that light down from your feet into the earth, all the way to the very core of the earth. And allow this light to anchor at the center of the earth. Now on your next breath in, breathe that earth energy up into your feet. Let it flow up your legs, into your torso, and all the way up to your heart. And let this energy anchor in your heart center. Take a couple of breaths here, noticing the shifts in your body. And allow an intention to arise for this practice. What is it that you would like to receive in this healing? And you can state your intention in the present tense, as it is already true. Good. And the angels are starting to work on your crown chakra. And at first, just sending healing energy to the crown of your head, to the crown center. And during the session, you might feel some physical sensations in the body. You might feel some tingling, some tension. Know that these are totally normal and everyone experiences energy healing differently. The sensations that you feel during the session, even if some of them become uncomfortable, they don't last longer than a minute or so. If you feel sensations, just start taking deeper breaths and make sure that your body stays completely relaxed. And right now, the angels are clearing a lot of fear from the crown chakra. The fear that has to do with the illusion of separation, the illusion of separateness. There's a lot of anger and frustration coming out right now as well, and releasing. And holding pent-up anger in this space can also be one of the triggers or one of the root causes for headaches, for migraines, and for some sleep issues. So this is really good. We're releasing this right now. And if you struggle with any of these issues, as you keep coming back to this practice, notice if you feel the difference. And just keep breathing and softening through your face, through your head. And I'm starting to feel more lightness in the crown of the head. And the angels are going deeper into the crown center, just healing and repairing any kind of blocks or wounds in the crown space. For some people, I feel like it has to do with a kind of conditioning that did not teach or encourage or allow you to explore more of your spiritual connection that since you were little perhaps made you focus a lot more on your mental or logical thinking mind rather than developing more of a spiritual connection or developing a more balanced spiritual connection. And it energetically feels like a kind of fracture in your crown space, which is what the angels are healing right now. Because the truth is, as humans, we have so many more ways of perceiving and connecting and communicating with each other, with life, with reality, with nature than we are typically taught to. And developing and healing your crown chakra will allow you to have a much greater sense of interconnectedness and spiritual connection with life itself. And for a lot of us, what is coming up is a kind of wound that has to do with our perception of ourself within the cosmic scheme of life. And there's a lot of pain that's coming up that's connected to our inability to see our spiritual truth, the truth of who we really are. And the angels are helping us reconnect with this knowing and feel safe to have this spiritual awareness. And there's a big battle that I'm feeling right now between our egos and our spiritual selves. And when I see the word ego, I don't mean it in any negative way. I just mean it as a mechanism or a structure that we developed that has a very rigid understanding of who we are and what is life. And it's here to keep us safe, but sometimes it can also limit us. So right now there's this big battle, and perhaps you felt it in your life before, where there's a part of you that knows that you're part of this expansive spiritual reality, and at the same time your mind or your ego may be telling you, no, this isn't true, this is false, or this is illusions, and these are the facts, and this is what we know, and the spiritual thing is just nonsense. So there's this battle and this tension of a part of ourselves that wants to keep us contracted and safe, and a part of us that wants to keep us expanding into our true nature and into the sense of freedom and bliss that it holds. And the angels are helping us create a deeper sense of safety so that we can expand without feeling that resistance, or without having to stay small and contracted and boxed into our narrow understanding of ourselves. And sending lots of love and healing to that inner skeptic, to that inner controller that is scared to touch the vastness that is the true you. Because it is scary to the ego. It's something you cannot contain. It's something you cannot control. It's something that's so powerful. And as Marianne Williamson said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us most. So what we are doing right now is expanding our capacity to safely hold and perceive and connect with our light, our power, our spirit. And the world around us has done a really great job of conditioning us to not believe in this powerful, expansive part of ourselves. And there's a lot of resistance in knowing who we truly are. But as we go through life, we have the opportunity to go beyond that conditioning and to see more clearly our own light. And not just our own light, but the great light that we are part of. And to see the light in everyone around us. To see each other as mirrors reflecting this light to one another. And you may continue to feel sensations in the crown of your head. As the angels are working on your crown space. And going deeper to mend that fracture between your human self or your ego self and your spiritual self. And maybe you have already gone through an experience of awakening, of a realization of your spiritual self. And maybe you have not yet had that experience. Either way, this practice is very healing to mend that split. Sometimes even when we have already experienced ourselves as this spiritual being, we can go back and forth between our vision of ourselves as small and constricted, and then large and expansive and infinite. And our work here in this lifetime is being able to integrate and mend the two. How can we live and exist within the form of our physical body while also fully inhabiting our infinite spiritual form? And we're going very deep now into healing the split in the crown chakra. And I'm seeing it going all the way back, not even just through this lifetime, but through other lifetimes, and even through your ancestry lines. Going all the way back, healing that split between your experience of your infinite spiritual self and your experience of your ego self. Seeing this healing going all the way back in the history of humanity, where the split originated and became larger. And just having that energetic awareness of the split will be very helpful in healing it. And please say in your mind or out loud, I embody my soul and my spirit in my physical body. It is safe for me to be in touch with my spiritual self. I allow myself to be connected to my spiritual knowing. I am a spiritual being embodied in a physical experience. myself to connect my spiritual and my physical selves. Take a deep breath in. And now release. Good. And just going to take a moment to integrate this healing. You can begin to deepen your breath and perhaps bring some movement to your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, you can rub your palms together to create some heat. And place your hands over your eyes. Take a couple more breaths here. And when you're ready, release your hands and blink the eyes open. If you need to stay with your eyes closed a little longer, you may do so. But if you're ready to come out of this practice, you can keep your eyes open. Thank you for doing this practice with me. Please take good care. From my heart to yours. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this Crown Chakra healing practice. If you want to go deeper in healing your crown chakra, you can check out the link below where you can get the 20-minute Reiki healing for the crown chakra. It is not verbally guided, it is just energy healing that goes very deep in the crown center. If you need one-on-one support, you can always email me to schedule a session. Please let me know in the comments how this was for you, if this was helpful, if you have any questions or suggestions for future recordings. I always read all the comments and I love hearing feedback. Thank you again for joining me here, and I hope to see you next time. Sending you lots of love.